Welcome to episode 25 of the Yes You Coaching podcast. I'm your host, Anna Manning, and I have a special Christmassy episode for you today. So I hope you've got some nice hot chocolate or some mulled wine, or you're feeling Christmassy, because it's going to be a Christmas episode complete with singing. If that's going to piss you off, you might want to listen to another episode. But I hope you're having a lovely Advent so far. And first off, if you haven't signed up already for the Grow Your Confidence in 2023 class, that is my new class where I'm going to be taking you through all of the habits you need to build in order to be more confident in 2023. I'm teaching that class twice in January, on the 4th and the 26th, and it's free. And I'm inviting everyone who's in the podcast community to come and join. You will get something from listening to the podcast. You will be able to grow your confidence listening to the podcast. This class, if you come and you participate, is going to take it to the next level. I want to really help you guys who are listening to take it one step further and to really kind of dig into it for yourself. So in that class, you're going to be thinking about it for yourself. I'm going to be leading you through what your particular areas are that you need to think about and that you need to do something about in order to grow your confidence. And that is really like the next level of the work. So if you're enjoying the podcast, you're going to love the class, come along, be in community with us. Let's start January off with you feeling more confident for 2023. So I'm dropping a link in the show notes. Just tap into the show notes now and follow the link, and you can book in a few easy steps. So without further ado, today we're talking about the 12 days of confidence. And we all know the 12 days of Christmas, right? And in the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, my true love gives to me all of these like different gifts, which maybe were cool in the time when the song was written. Maybe in the time when the song was written, everyone wanted a partridge in a pear tree, or 8 maids a milking, or 9 ladies dancing, or whatever. Although you could maybe pretty annoying gifts as they go. But I thought really hard about the best gift that I could give for Christmas to you. And what I came up with was just to tell you about the gifts that build confidence. And none of these cost anything. You don't have to go to the shop for any of them. None of them are bad for the environment. These are free, sustainable Christmas gifts that will actually build your confidence. And you might have seen on social media, since the beginning of December, I've been doing this series, 12 days of confidence, one a day. And it's been really fun. I've been really enjoying it. And I wanted to kind of put those together for you so that you've got them all in this handy episode. And believe me, I have coached enough people now on confidence to know what works. And I know that if you gave yourself 1, 2, even 3 of these gifts, you will be on the way to feeling more confident. I see it over and over and over again. Because confidence building, it's not like some kind of magical thing. It's just a set of habits and ways of thinking, ways of being, ways of doing things that you can adopt. And like I said, these are great gifts you can give yourself because they're free and they're sustainable and they'll actually do something good for you. Unlike the bottle of whiskey that somebody's going to buy for you. Although, maybe you'll have a good time with that. So let's get on with the 12 days of confidence. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me respectful self-talk. Respectful self-talk. You deserve to be spoken to with respect as a minimum. So if you don't currently speak to yourself with respect, maybe you could start now. I started the process of this speaking to myself respectfully rather than the way that I used to speak to myself, which, let me tell you, was pretty hideous. a few years ago, and I can honestly say this is the best gift anyone has ever given me, bar none. Learning how to do this for myself is the best gift that I could ever have given myself, because when you're spoken to with respect, everything else is easier. Imagine what would happen to your confidence if you worked in an environment where everyone spoke to you critically or harshly or with no respect. Your confidence would be in tatters, right? Goes without saying. So make sure that you're not reducing your confidence by speaking to yourself disrespectfully. Give yourself respectful self-talk as a gift this Christmas. This is in your control. This is in your power. Might not feel like it all the time, but believe me, it is. On the first day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of respectful self-talk for good and watch your confidence grow. And my friends, if this is the only gift that you took away from this episode and you committed to do this for the whole of 2023, believe me, you will be a person transformed by the end of the year. My life is unrecognizable from when I used to be harsh and critical to myself. Now I'm very respectful and friendly. Streets ahead. Okay, I don't know if that works. Miles better. Miles better. Give yourself the gift of respectful self-talk. It's free, it's sustainable, and I promise it will grow your confidence. Okay, what came next? On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a great leader. A great leader. Imagine how much more confident you'd be if you were being led by a boss who was helpful and encouraging and believed in you, who spoke to you respectfully, who didn't beat you up if you made a mistake, who never put you down. That would enable you to be loads more confident, right? Now, are you that boss for yourself? Is the boss that lives in your head the boss who's helpful and encouraging and believes in you and always speaks respectfully to you? Do they remind you of all your achievements and encourage you and give you emotional support on the days you're feeling down? If that's a no, you may not be being the greatest leader to yourself. But you actually have the power to choose the kind of leader you are for yourself. You may just have accepted whatever your brain has come up with in terms of how you're going to lead yourself. Even if you're very intentional about how you lead other people, don't leave that to chance anymore. On the second day of Christmas, the most beautiful gift you can give yourself is to be a great leader, or even just a good leader. That is the kind of environment that you need to work in order to grow your confidence. Give yourself the gift of being that kind of leader and watch your confidence grow. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me self-belief. How about a bit of self-belief around here, eh? What a gift that would be. Now imagine going into something you're trying to do and instead of thinking, oh my God, I can't do this is never going to work, what were you thinking? Instead of that, you're like, yes, I can work this out. I'm going to give this my best go. Yes, I know I can do this. I believe in you, Anna. Imagine how much more confident you'd feel if there was, instead of that voice nagging and doubting your ability all the time, there was a different voice that was like, I think you can make a success of this. Yeah, sure, self-doubt is going to pop up. That's normal. That's human. But what if you decided that you were going to give yourself some self-belief too, on purpose? What if you just get to choose? I wonder what would happen if one day you set a reminder for yourself every hour, and every hour when the alarm went off, you were like, I believe in you, and told yourself why. Ah, pure magic. What a lovely day. In fact, I think I'm going to do that for myself and let's see what happens. Having people around you who believe in you is so good for your confidence. It buoys you up, it spurs you on, it picks you up when you're feeling rubbish, it reminds you who you are and what you can do. So how about giving some of that to yourself? You could be there 24 hours a day, every day of the week, reminding you that someone believes in you. And it's you. Now that is Christmas magic. On the third day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of self-belief on purpose. I don't care how much self-doubt comes along from your mind. You get to choose to believe in yourself too. Even if you don't know the results, even if you don't know the outcomes, believe. It could be a Christmas miracle. So tell yourself over and over again, I believe in you. Whisper to yourself, I believe in you. And watch your confidence grow. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me being in the room. Ever thought you might spend more time in your own head than in the actual room you're in? No. Most people don't notice this one. It goes by unobserved, but having a big impact on people's confidence. So we think that being in our own heads and checking in on how we're being perceived and watching the voice in our brain as it panics is useful. But it's not. It's like trying to do a presentation and do gymnastics at the same time. Very difficult. When you're engaged in what's happening in your own head versus being in the room, it's really hard to listen. It's really hard to concentrate. And it's really hard to be able to have that clear brain that you need to think things through in the moment and respond to questions. If you struggle with any of this, I'll bet that you're more in your own head than you are in the room. So give yourself the gift of being in the room this Christmas. Whenever you notice that you're in your own head, come back to the room. And I hope you hear that voice when you've got lost in your own thoughts, being like, come back to the room. Practice just noticing that you've drifted away into your head and come back to the room. You'll notice how much easier it is to keep up with the conversation, to join in, to interject, to think, and to respond in the moment. And then you'll notice your confidence grow. So on the fourth day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of actually being in the room instead of being in your own head, and watch your confidence grow. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me acknowledgement for all that you are, for all that you do, for everything you've achieved, even the small stuff. We really want other people to acknowledge us for who we are, for what we've done. But very rarely do we properly acknowledge ourselves. We're starving for acknowledgement sometimes, especially as you get more senior. No one's acknowledging you, are they? You might be acknowledging other people because you know it's a good thing to do. You know it's good management technique. You know you get more out of people when you acknowledge them for the stuff they've done. You know it buoys them up and it makes them feel more confident. Well, guess what? It does exactly the same for you. So many people just refuse to acknowledge themselves for anything, and it makes me incredibly sad because I know you deserve to be acknowledged. And so do you. So on the fifth day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of being acknowledged often and watch your confidence grow. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me reduce pressure. Ever felt fear and panic at work? Yeah, me too. There's a lot of pressure, right? In your work environment. Can be a lot of pressure. Some days are better than others. And some of that pressure is created by the circumstances that we find ourselves in. But there's a lot of pressure that's actually created by us. There's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves, which creates stress and fear and panic. Now, you might not know that you're ramping up the pressure on yourself, but if you're doing anything like speaking to yourself in an unkind way before you do something, telling yourself that everything has to be perfect, even when it's an unrealistic standard, or beating yourself up after trying a new thing, next time round, you're going to be way more scared. All of those things pile on the pressure at work. So this Christmas, give yourself the gift of just reducing the pressure. How can you take the pressure off? Because when you put the pressure on, it creates the same stress reaction as if somebody else was putting the pressure on you. So let's stop and take the pressure off, because guess what that pressure is doing to your confidence? Yes, it's leaving it in tatters. See where you might be putting the pressure on yourself today and take it off. On the 6th day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of reducing the pressure and watch your confidence grow. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me emotional support. Had to really get the syllables right on that one. What do you do when you feel emotional at work? Do you tell yourself you're weak and stupid and you should just be able to button down and power through? Do you get frustrated with yourself and be like, everybody else can handle it, why can't I? Yeah, I thought so. We've been told that women are emotional and that that's a bad thing. And I don't agree with that, by the way. But guess what that's led to? Most of us not really acknowledging and allowing the things that we are feeling at work. Now, if a colleague came to you and said, I'm just feeling really emotional because I'm having a really tough day, what would you do? You'd listen, you'd acknowledge what they were feeling, you'd validate what they were feeling, and you'd find some way to comfort them. Now, when you're feeling emotional at work because you're having a really tough day, what do? You do the complete opposite. You shove it down and you tell yourself to get over it and power through. But if somebody else treated you that way, you probably wouldn't be really good friends with them, would you? Be a good friend to yourself. You deserve to be listened to when you're emotional. You deserve to have your feelings acknowledged and validated. And you deserve to have some comfort. I know that you will provide emotional support for other people at work, but how about just providing a little bit for yourself? That is a gift that you can give to yourself. Most of us don't, but you can. And it really will boost your confidence. On the 7th day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of emotional support and watch your confidence grow. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me allowing mistakes. Yes, because everyone else is allowed to make mistakes, aren't they, and learn from them. But not you. You have this standard for yourself where you have to be completely perfect, never make any mistakes. And if you do, you deserve to be endlessly punished and reminded about what a mess you've made, and everyone will ruminate on it for days. Right? When you aren't allowed to make any mistakes without there being really harsh repercussions, it makes it really, really difficult for you to try new things, and it reduces your confidence. If this is how you handle mistakes you make, by beating yourself up and by piling on the pressure and by ruminating, it will be having a negative impact on your confidence. Believe me, I coached around this hundreds of times. Most of us don't think we have a choice in the way that we deal with ourselves when we make mistakes, but I'm here to tell you that you do. You have a choice as to how you're going to treat yourself if you make a mistake or get something wrong. And you could decide right now that no matter what mistake you make, no matter what failure, no matter what thing you get wrong, you are going to keep a good opinion of yourself. Which is the same thing that your boss or your colleague would do, right? You might make a mistake. They don't make it mean that you're crap at your job and that you shouldn't be there and that nobody should have given you that promotion. They just think, oh, well, you did make a mistake, yeah? Let's acknowledge that and let's learn from it. They don't remind you every day when you come into the office that you made a mistake and you messed up. It's you that's reminding you of that. And actually, do you know what? If they do, maybe consider whether you still want to be working at that place. You get to decide how you treat yourself when you make a mistake. You may be really used to treating yourself really, really poorly, but it doesn't have to be like that forever. On the 8th day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of grace when you make a mistake and watch your confidence grow. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Perfection isn't. See what I did there? Perfectionism. I'm not going to give myself that for Christmas. That's the worst gift ever. Yes, perfectionism is the worst gift ever. So instead, we're going to be giving ourselves perfection isn't. Because guess what wrecks people's confidence? Yep, you guessed it. Perfectionism. This year, we're going for less perfectionism and more perfection isn't. We're going for B-. We're going for the bronze. 60% will have to be good enough because done is better than perfect. My old boss always used to tell me that. And then I would get something done and he would perfect it. It was a fun little game that we played. Perfectionism is responsible for so much anxiety and stress, and it will reduce your confidence. Because how can you be perfect 100% of the time in such an imperfect world? You can't. If somebody else was expecting that standard of you, it would be so unfair. And it is so unfair that you expect that standard of yourself all the time. It just isn't fair on you. It isn't fair. And perfectionism always wins because you know what? It doesn't matter how good you are, it will raise the bar. You can never get there. It's an unattainable standard. So on the 9th day of Christmas, give yourself a gift of an actually attainable standard and let that be good enough. More perfection isn't than perfectionism. And watch your confidence grow. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a growth mindset. I think I've changed the key rather since the beginning. Never mind. So, the gift of a growth mindset, right? If somebody were able to just plant a growth mindset into your head, what would that mean? Well, if you're ever avoiding doing something for fear that you're going to suck at it, you need a growth mindset. A growth mindset says, yeah, I'll give this new thing a go because I know that even if I'm rubbish at this new thing in the beginning, if I keep trying and if I keep practicing, my skills and my abilities will grow. My capacity will grow. And I'll get there. The opposite of having a growth mindset is a fixed mindset where you're either good or you're bad. You're either, oh, I'm going to get it right first time or I'm not going to bother. I either can do this or I can't. It has a very fixed attitude. And when you have that mindset, unknowingly, it blocks you off from new opportunities and new growth and new experiences. It blocks you off from putting yourself forward for something that you've never done before because you're probably not going to get it perfect. How could you? On the 10th day of Christmas, think about giving yourself the gift of a growth mindset. Because somebody who knows that even if they're crap at first, that if they keep going, their skills and abilities and their capacities will improve. That person will grow their confidence. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a list of my achievements. Now, what do we have here? Yes, Father Christmas says, I have a list of your achievements, and it turns out you've been a very good girl this year. Don't know why Father Christmas has got that accent. But anyway, imagine if, for Christmas, by some Christmas miracle, you were given a list of all your achievements and accolades and all of the things you've done in spite of all of the shit you've been through. And yes, it would be a really, really, really long list. Now imagine you reading through that list. Imagine. I think you'd be pretty pleased with yourself. Because you'd see all of those moments. You'd see all of those achievements that it is so easy in the melee of everyday life to just forget. Our brains are programmed to focus on what isn't working and what is bad and what is dangerous and what is risky. You will have amnesia about all of your achievements unless you remind yourself. But thankfully, there's a simple cure for your amnesia. On the 11th day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of making and reading a list of your achievements and watch your confidence grow. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me encouragement. Yes, this is the last gift that you're going to give yourself this Christmas. What are some of the things that somebody else would say to you that would be really encouraging? What feels really encouraging to you? Is it someone being like, I believe in you. You are good. You do good things. You try hard. I'm proud of you. You've got this. What could people say that was really encouraging? Say it to yourself today. Everybody needs a bit of encouragement, and you, my friend, are no exception. But the good news is this: you don't actually have to wait for others to give you the encouragement. Yeah, sure, that's nice, but you can give it to yourself. You're with yourself all day, every day. And guess what? When you are encouraged, it boosts and maintains your confidence. So what are you waiting for? On the 12th day of Christmas, give yourself the gift of encouragement and watch your confidence grow. People of the podcast, that is the 12 days of confidence. 12 gifts, which if you diligently applied for the whole of 2022, my God, would you see your confidence transform? And I'm not kidding. And I know that most of you probably won't do it. You'll probably just listen to this podcast and be like, yeah, that was nice, and then forget and go into your day. Or maybe not. But I have a really easy next step for you to take, which is going to make this stuff more concrete, and it's going to turn it into an actual plan that you can use to work your way to a more confident 2023. I'm teaching a free class in January. I said it at the top of the episode. If you haven't booked already, tap into the show notes now, whether you're on your laptop or whether you're on your mobile phone. Go into the show notes and tap on the link that's in the show notes that says Grow Your Confidence 2023. That will take you to the link. There are 2 classes in January. Choose the day and time which works for you. Book and come and start turning some of these gifts into real things in your life so that you can grow your confidence in 2023. All right, that's it from me. I will see you all next year. Enjoy your Christmas. Lots of love. Bye.